Real Madrid stayed top of LaLiga, but points were dropped against Girona's side, a very heroic Girona side who was trying to fight for everything they can. A lot to discuss here, of course. Controversial decisions included. Luis Miguel Echegaray, Janusz, Michallik, Janusz, Real Madrid tie against Girona. No Benzema. Is it as simple as that? No Karim. So that's why they didn't win. Your thoughts of this Real Madrid side and how they struggled against a side that really has no business taking any points of the defending champions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put this down to Benzema. We've seen Real Madrid do things well with and without Benzema in the past, right? So I don't think, this early in the season, it's something to worry about. Part of it, of course, the easy thing to say that for Real Madrid in general in this season, first halves are not very great. When I think of Real Madrid, I think of it, especially when they play against the so-called minnows, very often it's like, yeah, they're not looking good. Yeah, they may be behind, but they'll find a way to get the result in the last minute. And they almost did with, that first controversy. Obviously, I think that one to get out of the way was the right decision because Gazzaniga had his hand on the ball. Now, you and I in particular as a player can argue about it, if that law of the game should be that way. Is he truly in control of the ball? But I think if you're ever going to protect the goalkeeper, I think that's the part because, once he has it, you can understand. This one, okay, it's poked in, but sometimes people are going to start kicking at you. So I think that law of the game is all right. And I didn't see any issues. The reason I'm mentioning it because I thought, here we go again, Real Madrid finds a way to win it again. But slow starts, they paid the price for that. That's, in my opinion, inconsequential at this moment, as far as the standing goes or anything that we're going to see going forward.
So this was a tough game for Real Madrid. You mentioned one controversy, of course, regarding that Gazzaniga having one hand on the ball against the ground. I remember an Aston Villa, Leicester City, similar situation with Kasper Schmeichel. And of course, it went the same way. But here, obviously, it didn't go their way. However, let's go to the other controversy, of course. There was a penalty claim. VAR asked the ref to take a look, of course, where the ball hit Asensio. Now, we've had a lot of discussions here. The ball, initially what happens is it hits the chest and then it rebounds of Asensio's arm. And Ancelotti, after the game, said that's exactly what they thought happened and it shouldn't have been a penalty. What say you, my friend? Because obviously Girona scored after that after Stuani made it 1-0.
First, before I give you that, VAR has a way of justifying decisions to suit themselves or the referees. That's what I find, because it's one of those things that's impossible. And the gray area, the laws change as we go, right? You and I, when we commentate games, we're supposed to know these laws of the games. And I think I know most, but now I've given up. Here it is from a standpoint that even though Asensio obviously is not a forward, but I'm a defender. I've been in situations like this, or at least I can understand situations like this. And I'll tell you this much. When a ball comes at you this fast, it's an involuntary reaction to obviously put your hand up. Now, by the laws of the game, is that a natural position for your arm to be like this? No. But the way I look at this situation is unless that ball hit his arm before it hits his chest, brushed off his arm, then maybe, just maybe, because the laws are the laws, I could kind of sort of justify the decision for that. But we didn't see that. No replay that I've seen showed that it did. The way I saw it is the ball has hit his chest and hit his arm. And for me, that should never be a penalty. Because, the one thing that everybody's going to get around is that, well, look at that arm, it's up here. Yeah, I mean, come on, that's life. You can't react any differently when that ball comes in. And had it hit his arm, I'd still say, well, what's he supposed to do? I mean, yeah, it's a natural decision to be afraid of that. But okay, I would say, there's got to be a handball. So I think it was a bad decision. I don't think this was a penalty. For me, the way I look at it is it's such a crucial call, and it shouldn't matter if it's a big team or a small team, because everybody brings the situation that sometimes smaller teams get. No, it's a crucial decision, and you better get it right. If you're not sure, then, go with what's logical. And to me, logic said that this wasn't a penalty.
I completely agree 100%. There's no even a need to keep going with this. The ball hits the chest and then the arm. And by the way, the rules because they're trying to adapt to the modern game, have said, like, if that happens, specifically this protecting your face is actually fine. In fact, if it rebounds off a chest, especially so, definitely not a penalty. Toni Kroos, by the way, gets a second yellow and he is sent off. How crucial is that going forward, Janusz?
Well, I think when we get deeper into the game and look at it, tactically Ancelotti, I think, could have done a little bit better there, right? I mean, think about it. I mean, it's an important player, but I think both Luka Modric and Toni Kroos have been on a yellow card, right? And just makes you wonder, in the situation that the game was, you have Tchouaméni on the bench, you can make different moves right there for two veterans to be in that situation, and for him to keep them on. I understand their importance and all that, but it's not like Tchouaméni is just this, this young guy that's just learning, right? I mean, he's a crucial part of that team. So I think it's just silly. I think if Ancelotti looks back at this, he's going to say, yeah, I probably should have gotten him out, or at least one of them. So, I mean, take your pick, maybe even both.
One thing is for sure, Real Madrid are ruining dropping points, and penalty or not, they probably should have had the job done against the Girona that was just trying to get out of the relegation zone. The good news is they remain top of LaLiga. The bad news is Barcelona is right there under them.
Yeah, but let's give Girona a little bit of a credit there as well, right? Because, I mean, Valerie's header, I look at Ángel Herrera, who you and I have seen here when he was in Major League Soccer with and New York City FC as well. I mean, he rattled that crossbar, maybe actually even too much power, because that should have been a goal for sure. So, when you look at this result, let's not just look at it from the prism of, oh, poor Real Madrid, even though they got a wrong decision. I think Girona asked enough questions there against a Real Madrid team that was certainly nowhere near to their best. So, I mean, maybe that point is justified. I know there was a post, I think Rodrigo in the first half. Real Madrid, of course, is going to have their chances, but this wasn't a one-way traffic by any means.
No chance at all. A valiant, heroic Girona get 1 point against Real Madrid side, who knows that the table is not completely firm, especially as we approach November and the World Cup.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.